Greetings, YouTubers. We're here live at Walmart. You remember the wife's Equinox? Well, now she don't start. She was out here the other night trying to get a jump start, and nothing would work. Lights would come on and everything, but it wouldn't click. It'd do one click, but it wouldn't start. And couldn't quite figure it out. So came back, got the voltmeter on it. It had 12 volts. It went down to 10 with the volt tester. The load tester. So I'm like, well, what the heck? So finally I got it. I come out here, hooked it back up, and nothing. So I know it ain't the battery. So looking at the starter. All right, go ahead. Again. Okay. Yeah. Not supposed to do that. So that tells me we've got a starter issue. So we already went to advance and got another starter. So now we get to spend quality time here in the Walmart parking lot and try and get this fixed before we get yelled at. All right, so first thing you want to do whenever you're working on electrical is unhook the battery. I go ahead and I disconnect both of them. It only takes a second or two to put them back on, but I like undoing them both. All right, now sometimes there's a reserve, a little bit of energy still capacitated in the car. Go ahead and pull the bright lever on the left. Go ahead and pull it back. If you pull the lever for the brights, so a lot of times I'll discharge any stored electricity in the capacitors. All right, so let's get in here and take a look. All right, so we got this bracket right here. That looks like a 9/16-ish. So we're gonna have 3 there. We're gonna have 1 here. Yeah, we gotta take this bracket off because we gotta get back into this guy. And then most likely this guy too. That looks like around a half to a 13. So let's go ahead and get them off. All right, so we got these 3 bolts out. Now I need to get this guy here, and that'll take off this plastic cover, and then we can get it this one and this one. So this was this one here was where'd you go? 17, and those 2 were 15 millimeter. So let me get that cover off, and then we'll go for those 2 right there. And then before we do that, we'll have to get the wires off the back here. So we'll do that after we get the cover. All right, so we got the wire off, the nut. Pull this off. Pull it off carefully. Switch hands. And don't want to come off. Oh, that one, I think that one's connected to the starter, from the solenoid to the starter. So that's self-contained. That one don't need to come off. This one does, which I believe there's a clip on top. Get your hand in there. Yep, it's this little pull tab. Get up here, push up towards the sky, and gently wiggle, and boom. Pull that out of the way. Okay, the one up here. So see this wire coming up right there? That one is connected to the top of the solenoid. So this comes from the battery to power it, and then it jumps across the solenoid, and then this, once you turn the key, will send the power from the solenoid down to turning the starter. So this, I believe, 13? Yeah, 13 millimeter. If I can get this out. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna use the extension, get that guy off, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got that. What? And I'll take this wire. I think it's grooved, so make sure when you take it off, it has the same angle. You know, this is like 2 o'clock. If down here is 6 o'clock, here's 3 o'clock. This is coming out at about a 2 o'clock angle. Oh, there's 2 wires on there. Okay. Yeah, there's this one, and then this. Where'd it go? this one here. That's the power coming off your battery, because that's a big thick one. Sorry, that's a big thick one there. So you gotta get this one on first, and then this little one behind it. So they go like that, and then go right on your stud there. All right, so let's kind of move them out of the way. Now we should be able to get this bolt and that bolt and take them off, and it should come out. Okay, so I got the first one out, and I left just a couple threads on it because sometimes this thing gets heavy, and if you're at an out angle upside down, it can fall out and hit you in the head or whatnot. So I'm gonna take this one fully out. A lot of threads on this guy. There's at least an inch worth of threads. I'd probably grip it better if I didn't have super greasy hands. All right, there's that guy. Let's come down here. You moved on me. Right there. All right, so we got the little one out. I'm gonna hold this up with my hand. Take this other one out. Let me get that with the wrench. Yeah, greasy hands, you can't grip nothing. Hopefully there aren't any shims in here, because I don't know where they are or where they go. Hopefully don't have to shim it. All right, there's that one. And just peel it right out. All right, so there we go. I got it. All right, so this is your engine. This is your transmission. This is a flex plate starter. Quick tutorial in case you don't know. That little gear right there. When you hit the key, it goes in here and hits this and turns this great big flex plate, and that turns your engine over, and then the spark hits, and then the fuel ignites, and then zoom, off you go. All right, so usually the shims are up here. This is actually kind of like on my old Chevy square body, so that makes sense. If there's any shims, they're going to be here. So let's take a look on this. All right, so yeah, right here, this is where they go. This is the top facing up, so no shims, so that's good. Starter gear definitely looks worn. The Bendix. All right, so if we take this and apply power to it, it's not even going to move. What it does is that gear pops out towards me, makes contact with the flex plate, and goes. Sometimes you can have it's off just a little bit, like the teeth aren't totally meshed correctly, and it'll try and push out, and it doesn't catch and turn your flex plate. So what you can do is get in your car, roll it back a couple inches, and that'll roll the engine over a little bit, and sometimes it'll catch. But anyways, all right, let's get the new one. Let's get it installed. All right, so here you can see the new and the old. So you can see how the front of the teeth are they're actually angled a slight bit to the left and a little rounded, and then that's what the new ones look like. So that's what happens to car parts over time. So you want to make sure your mounting positions. Here's our tabs here. You want to make sure they match the old one, and the housings that go in are right, because if this is thicker, it may not fit into the opening on the transmission. Flip it over. Those look the same, so yep, this is definitely the right one. So off you go. You're going back to the store for an expensive core charge. All right, so one thing I want to do before I put the new bolts in is the old favorite, never sees. You'll put these on your threads. You don't want to put them on the electrical part right here, because that can interfere with the conductivity. You can use dielectric grease if you want for that. So for the bolts that go into the metal, the block and frame and all that, never sees. So I'll go and throw some on there. All right, so we got everything lined up. So we're gonna put this in, and here's the bolt with the never sees. So I'll start with the little one first. Get this nestled in there and get that lined up. I gotta switch hands. You know what? Let me grab the wrench while I'm at it. I think that'll be easier, because it's got a shoulder on it. All right, good. Then we'll start the other one in the back here. All right. Put your hand up here anyways, because you don't know it. This one may come out if you jiggle it a little bit. So I don't want anything crashing down onto me or onto the pavement. This is where an impact comes in handy. Some of them, I don't know, the different, either the 3.6, or maybe the ones that are 4-cylinder, had a bolt way up in here, and these went this way and in here, and you had to use a universal wobble extension to get in. Luckily, this one is straightforward, and it's easy to get at. So thank you for that. All right, now move it around, make sure it's seated. All right, so when you hook everything back up and you go to start it, you want to listen real carefully. You may want to have somebody start it while you're down here. Listen for any clanking, screeching, grinding noises, and make sure that it's aligned properly, because if it starts creaking and grinding and screeching, this thing's going to wear out in like a day or two. So let's take our wires and clean them off. I still got good metal showing, so if they don't, you take a piece of sandpaper and sand that, rough it up. Yeah, these look good, so we'll just put them back on. All right, so this one first and then this one on top. That goes back here. Get on there. Where you at? Like that. And this one angles on top. Take that all the way back and get our new lock washer and our nut. Yeah, shoot, that wants to come off, so I'm gonna have to do that two-handed. Hopefully you can see that. I'm gonna have to hold that down with one hand while I get the nuts started. Otherwise it'll just slide off and you'll lose the lock washer. All right, so that one I think is a 13. All right, so I'll go ahead and tighten that one up, and then we'll plug this guy in, and then we'll come back. All right, so you don't want to over tighten it. You'll make it nice and snug, but don't monkey fist it, because this here is plastic. And you'll break that, and then you got to start all over and do it all over again. All right, so that was good and tight. Take our plug in. This part goes at 12 o'clock up top. Where are you at? Oh boy, I hope this is the same. Because if we, okay, there it is. That's actually a little bit towards 1 o'clock. My bad. Had me worried there for a minute. Why isn't that going in? Oh. When I tightened it, this wire is in the way. So I gotta loosen that up real quick. Get that out of the way. There, I can move that. Now this should go. Yeah, yep, that's exactly what it was. There we go. Now we'll switch this, tighten this down. So the day comes, if we're still on this and this needs replaced again, I may have to do this wire first to get this out of the way, because this tab, I won't be able to push it up to get that off of there. Okay. All right, now I'll put the plastic piece back in. I think it's like a 7 or 8 millimeter. This guy right here. A dust cover, keep the crud out of there. and then put our bracket back on, and that's it. This plastic, so don't go crazy tightening it. Let's get it snug so it's not, yeah, that's not going anywhere. All right, and then a bracket here. I put never sees on these. Tell you what, I'm just gonna do this for now because I want to start it, make sure it works before I get absolutely everything buttoned up. That way I don't have to take everything back off. You know, it's just 3 bolts. So we'll go ahead and have my wonderful helper turn the key and see what happens. All right. All right. So before you try and start it, make sure you put your battery cables back on. Listen for any sparks or pops or anything, just in case. All right, that is a 10mm. Pause. All right, just tighten this. Make sure you don't take this metal to metal over here and touch that, because that can arc and spark and make a big flash, bright flashy spark. We don't want that. Could short something out too. Keep it on there long enough, it might send the current through you. Of course, my feet are on the ground, so I'm kind of grounded. Anyways, I don't want to find out. All right, so okay. All right, Chin Park. All right, give her a try. Well, looky there. Mama's happy. Yep, that's definitely what it was. All right, shut off. All right, try it again. All right, good deal. Thank you, Lord. All right. All right, so I'm gonna tighten those 3 bolts up, and we're done, campers. So that was only about a half an hour, even with all the talking. If you're out here by yourself, you could probably get it in 15 to 20 minutes. So, once again, live from the parking lot of Walmart. Thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. God bless. Goodbye. Let's go home.